What? Who said they can match up more than we? We give them mass and show them how. Mad, no wetty, no jacket.
Yes, and of course, Smexy, don't think you are, know you are.
Who said they could mash up it? Chili said they could mash up it. Who said they could wreck up it? Peyton said they could wreck up it.
Yes, so we are inside. Good evening, good night to everyone locked on. It's Real Talk Live, and the topic of the hour is choosing the right life partner. You know, some people look forward to having someone to spend the rest of their life with, and they may not know how to go about doing that. Or they may have ideas of what it is they are looking for in a life partner. So let's hear from the ladies. Abby, you still have plenty life to live.
By the grace of God, yes.
Yes,
Right?
of course.
What are some of the qualities that I say going to find somebody now to spend the rest of your life with? What qualities are you looking for in that person?
Wow. I mean, I'm trying to be realistic. Because, you know, we women go, of course, and think all kind of, you know, jawline and butt and them kind of stuff.
Yes.
I just want someone who's definitely understanding, but communicate, you know, put aside the circumstances about when it's the right time, blah, blah, you know. When something happen and needs to be sorted now, let's sort it out now before it get worse. I wouldn't mind someone doing that. Come into my life and try and sort stuff out so the two of us could go move along, you know, straight, nice, everything.
You want to be able to solve problems together and
Yes.
face the challenges together.
Together, yes. Not always your fault, so you fix it and, you know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to ask for much because I could basically do everything by myself. I've been doing it for all these years. So I'm not looking for no one to take over that responsibility, but to come together, two heads is better than one. And we all push forward and at least to make each other comfortable financially, emotionally, everything.
Right,
you know, and that's what I'm looking for. It don't have to be no rich man, no big mansion, no nothing. Just two, you know, each other pushing one another. One pedal, one side, one pedal the next side, you know. Two hands clapping.
Right.
That's what I'm looking for. That is what
That's what you're looking for.
Desire to have, yeah.
Yes. Happy New Year, Sidel.
That's it. Hi, Sidel.
All right, Josanne. We know you're on the move, and that's what will happen. Especially where you're moving. What you're moving in. Yeah. So everybody coming on the live, we are talking about choosing the right life partner. Andy, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Good night, Candace. Yes, so choosing the right life partner. So everybody who's coming in, drop in the comment section. Firstly, if it is you want to have a partner for life, because some persons may say that they really don't want to have a life partner, right? And if it is you do want to have a life partner, what are some of the qualities that you are looking for in that life partner? Drop that in the comment section. Yeah? What are you looking for? Or what you think are some of the qualities you should have? Because sometimes you may want something, but that is not really what it is you need in a life partner.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes we say we want things, but that is not what we need.
Aye. Pleasant night.
Where you going?
Well, yes. I don't know. It's a magic act here. Yeah. So It have so many, I remember that long time what the young ladies used to look forward to. I don't know how much women used to look forward to it, but saying, they want to get married and spend the rest of their life with
Who's
somebody.
the mash up first? Yeah.
Yes, lion.
A lion,
We got
lion wasn't thinking
high,
about
high.
getting married and spending the rest of his life with nobody. He's saying, nah.
Yeah. No, you see, so the topic for tonight, today, whenever you're looking at this, is choosing the right partner, right?
Life partner.
Uh, Partner. How
You
it
say
go?
life, eh?
Yeah,
Lion came up with the topic, eh, people?
yeah. Choose yeah, this is my topic. So, controversial, the things. Yeah, so choosing, how do you think? Where's your vibe? I can tell it's
Life
my
that's a bit hard and tricky, innit?
partner. Anyhow, you see,
Partners. Sorry.
in life, you see, it hard, but yet, you see, it's interesting because this is how things are sometimes in when you're now getting into relations, right? The honeymoon phase, the twilight phase, the euphoric phase. And that is the problem because we get so hooked on the euphoric phase, we forgot to know that when we selected this particular person to last more than the euphoric phase, we were getting into business with them. 95% of the divorce is not from infidelity, 95% of the divorce rate comes from finance. So after we got or past the honeymoon phase and the twilight zone, we didn't understand that we was literally getting into business with the other person. You know what I mean? And that with each other this time. You know what
Why
I
do you
mean?
look at it as a business?
It is
Is it?
partnership. What do you think this partnership is? Partnership. You see, if we don't have a common goal, we cannot stay together. Because we are nothing to accomplish. If we go in and take over London, yeah, I mean, here where we go, let's we go in and take over London. That is we end game. And we believe that is what we're supposed to be doing together. Anything could come, You know what I mean? Like anything could come, any trouble could come. You could withstand anything because we have a goal together.
Okay, I understand that.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
And it's not building a family because children just grow up and move out the house. So some people that say they're making a
Yeah.
family life or they're building a family, which sounds nice. It sounds nice rolling off the tongue. We're gonna build a family together. We're gonna have all
And
these
that's
things.
and that is why when the children move out a year, 5 years down the road,
Daddy,
the
we're gonna
parents divorce and the children like, but mommy and daddy, everything was looking all nice before. And then when all the children leave, they get married and now they going with the same cycle. When it was but everybody out and the parents going to divorce.
You think that was the goal?
on that we didn't have any. You know where it is to live with somebody for 15, 20 years and then realize after 15 years we didn't have a vote, we didn't have a plan. Because children not gonna stay children. I just understand
Yeah.
women tend to hold on to this type of scenario with the family. Like children are born and then they grow up. Children, it's not like you're having children for the rest of their life and they're gonna stay babies and we're gonna hold hands and go in the park together and go. No, no. If we don't have a vision, we will die. Any leader will tell you if the team, the army, we don't have a clear vision that all the soldiers are aware of, we're gonna lose that battle. Yeah, that's just my take.
And
Continue.
that's even with friendship because sometimes you may be going to school and you may have a friend for a certain period of time, and then when you meet that goal, everybody go their separate ways. So it's like the same thing with your relationship. You get involved with someone, you have the family, you have the children. You say no, you want your goal. What is to see that they have children and they grow up to be successful. And after that, what next? It doesn't have anything to continue to move forward. What's the next goal? When that goal is accomplished, there's
Right.
nothing to work together
Yeah,
towards.
I get that.
Yes, so that's yeah, so really having I would looking towards working towards something, having that goal as partners, whether it's a friendship, because it's have some friendship there, you have a goal, you want to build a business together. Good evening, Sonali. And
Finally.
that is the goal. You want to open this, it have different sections of the business, and you keep on, you have something to keep working towards. So then you could have that person in your life for life. Some people say, yeah, that's my friend for life. In which life? It really in which life? People say, yeah, best friends for life. But what is really keeping the friendship, that partnership going? What is really keeping it? That goes for any relationship with parents, relationship with siblings. Sometimes even some family relatives, they draw apart because they don't have a goal, something that they want to work on together.
Hmm.
So in choosing a life partner, one thing for sure is that you have the foundation then is very important, and what it is you want to work towards. And then that will mean also that it must have some similarities. You have some of the same passions or something along the line of, because we all have differences, we won't all be the same, because I mean, being the same is very boring, eh?
Yeah.
Being the same is boring. Like,
Extremely boring.
it is boring, and that is not what a relationship should be. It come like people saying, like when people say, "Oh, you're so short," I say, "Well, if everybody were tall, that would be boring. Everybody's same height. Then what's the point?"
It's really shortness in it. But
At sure 18,
I mean,
it
think
must
about
have
it.
some differences.
What place in the comment section, people, what you think you need to place in the forefront when you're choosing a life partner, right? Because I think, now think about this. We just waste 10 years, so we gotta rewind back to 10, right? And we're going back to the first date. So I'll place in the comment section, knowing that what we know now, knowing that all your nude, all your hot, and all your clothes, the euphoric stage, all you're going and want to be all hot and bothered. A baby might come because of the heat. That is biology at its finest. We need to understand that. That is not love. That is not relationship. If you understand what I'm saying, that is biology. Right? So we hot and we bothered and we started getting to doing the big people business. Right? But
Mm-hmm.
let me pause from there and rewind back to the first date. So place in the comment section, people. What you think are the top 5 questions Chika and Abby can answer? That now we know this. What do you think we should be asking on these dates? So you had date 1, date 2, date 3. So you know every date there is a little more. Yeah. Right? So what do you think is the questions you should be asking on date 1, date 2? Because date 2, you're thinking about the person or they're getting serious, right? Let me think about it. Place in the comment section. Abby,
Day two again, serious?
no, listen, with me. If with
Ah,
me, I don't like to waste
mm,
time. I believe time.
right.
No, I believe with time,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
I not there to waste time, right? And that's reality. And if everybody kind of behave like that, we kind of reach real far. You get that? I mean, if it is just a
You won't
shingle,
have much exes. You
if
won't
it's just
have
a
this
little
X
fling,
and
I
that
mean,
X.
you know you don't want a year long fling. If you understand what I mean, right? I
Definitely not.
you get that you know it's a fling. Let me get it on 200. Like. We
Yeah,
get it over with. We know it's a fling. That's what it is, and right? When it done, it done. But we're talking about you're looking to do something serious, right?
yeah.
What's the questions we asking you now? Talk to me. Question time. What's the questions of the day?
Well, a question that I believe I will ask, what do you see yourself doing 20 years down? I mean, we're going all the way down. Like, we're not talking short term, too much of a short term. Yes, where you might see yourself in next 3 years, but at the same time, what is a long term goal that you have? What are you passionate about? What will have you driven that you wouldn't want to give up on life? And I think that is important because if it is the person not seeing anything like maybe 20 years down, then what you're going to work towards, what will be the long term that you're working towards, what empire are you going to build? Yeah, I mean, we have to think about really building something. If it have nothing a build, we don't have a building, a mansion, what? Then what's the point? So Andy's saying, I don't think we have life partners. I think it's just business between us for a time. So Andy don't believe in having life partners. Now there are persons who would be like together 50 years. That was long time. Yes, I know who that length of time over a lifespan. So that's a question. What you will ask, Sabi? What will be something that you will ask on a second, third date?
Well, first thing I would ask is where you see this going. Just like Ryan said, is it going to be a fling? Let's get it over with and done. And don't lead me on 2 years. That's the first thing I want to know. Where is this leading to? Is it going to be serious? So we could skip all the long talk and probably plan? Or just get it done and over with? That's my first question. What does it want out of this? What is this? What would you like? Because I took my time to meet you. So, of course, I'm interested. I just want to know what you're about.
If you want it long term, short term, or what is it? So, so after the long term, because then say we have to ask, we have 5 important things to ask. 5 things. Right, so the first thing I want to know is where this going. Are we going ahead and then this for the long term or the short term? So you find out
tomorrow. So I get in trouble. No chica in that.
No, but that's what Abby said. That's what she's going to ask.
That's what I'm going to ask.
Don't. Why? I've been controversial tonight. So let's excuse me tonight. I've been controversial tonight. So let's excuse me.
I mean, I understand what Andy's saying, but if I want someone that I could die with, knowing that they're going to be at my side at old age, I want to make sure that you're going to go down that road with me. If this is a short-term thing, then
moving, Abby, very moving, eloquent.
But Abby, so even if you ask the person, all right, you're in this for the short term or the long term, and then they say you're in the long term, right?
I'm going fellas on there, don't vex with me. Right? The Hunters Association, or they don't vex with me. Abby, if I am a male and I want to get with you intimately, I am going to tell you everything you want to hear. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they don't have good persons or bad persons. I'm saying when we're looking at the partnering, right? And knowing that if they have kids or a marriage or anything like that, and after they growing up and they forget about mommy because they had their own life to live and daddy, right? They have their own life to live, their own job to see, right? What is the question you have to ask with that in mind? Because somebody could say, well, this is what I see with us down the road, Abby. We're married, we have a beautiful woman taking that. A woman is going to go past that. It have nothing past that. And if a man say they're going and get married, that is it. No, nothing else. You don't have to say anything past that.
Probably most women, I guess.
Exactly. Most women, time you talk married talk. That is all you want to talk.
That's it.
That is nothing else. So I'm speaking about married talk. Anyhow, we will deal with that. Right? Now, Abby, this is what I will ask. I will answer. I will say one question. I will proceed one question. I am asking the young lady X, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I'll start with that.
Right. And that is short term. So that is what I was saying. So either the next 3, 5 years, where do you see yourself? And then after that, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Oh, I understand. I understand. I understand the code. I was waiting to see as we say marriage. So Rihanna say her goal this year is to get married and have to have a child. So Rihanna, how that goal coming along you? How is
It is good so far.
good
Pleasant
afternoon.
afternoon though.
So how all right, so
It's good, it's good. It's coming along.
it's coming along. So you engaged already then? Any
No, I don't think I in for that though.
you don't think you're in for
That's
what?
just wasting money and time. Getting
Wasting money at
engaged, that's just
mm-hmm.
wasting money and time. When you could
Oh.
just spend that money into marriage instead. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the man say, hey, I would like to he proposed. I mean it must have a proposal, right? It must have
Well,
a
not
proposal.
necessarily, but we
Not
just
Yeah,
necessarily.
marriage
sort of
just so
plan
you
it.
just going
Now we
up.
just sit down and plan and discuss.
Right, right. I see. I see. So the planning starts. All right.
That's exactly how I did it.
Okay. You
Yeah,
just sat down and plan.
basically.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Basically.
we just sat down one evening and decided to discuss it.
All right. All right. So you're doing this in the COVID. Well, I mean,
He
if you're doing it in the
actually
COVID, he actually.
he actually did ask if I wanted to he actually did ask if I wanted to get engaged though, but I told him no, that's just wasted
Mm-hmm.
money when you could put that towards and spend a little more on, just a marriage and done. So he was like, okay, what you say?
All right. All right. Now
Mhm.
remember, is the money and spending on the marriage? I think. Well, the wedding we have to think about after because they're gonna need that money after now. So Kyla, yeah, that's how I
Yeah.
do in a straight
Anytime you think
marriage. You all have to do like Marshall,
yeah,
just turn
besides you
up
take
to the
money to buy
Red House. You have whoever there as
Yeah,
witnesses. That's how some people doing it now,
yeah,
eh? And then
yeah.
because now
besides
the gathering
I'm
is less, they
the money you
have to
take
invite everybody.
Ready. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and some people taking this opportunity where it is they don't have to invite everybody and nobody will be asking, so how it is I didn't get invited? Yeah. Yeah, so we're talking life partner. So Rihanna, since you sat down with your partner, guy in a relationship with now, do you see yourself spending the rest of your life with him? Rihanna, I heard that question. Do you see yourself spending the rest of your life with the guy you're with now?
of course, of course.
All right. Now we don't have a name to this guy. We need to know what's your missus going to be. Where's going to be?
Oh, you all want me to tell you now?
Yes,
Yes,
I
like,
mean,
of
I'll tell
course.
her off. I'll tell her off the air, not on the air.
Okay.
oh, you don't want anything jinxing what's happening. All
Oh,
right.
what
Okay.
about what about distractions? Now, those things does happen. I mean, two people may have a goal, sat down, and
Mm-hmm.
circumstances wherever come up and go through.
What type of circumstances, Abby?
I
Because I
glad you
mean, like,
asked.
if it is, yeah,
I glad you asked. All right, you're in a relationship. You all decide this is what's going to take place. Okay, you two going head on. And distraction meaning either woman distraction or men distraction, right? You
right.
encourage and then things just go haywire and everything just fall apart.
Now,
All that.
long time, some women, even though the man may have been distracted by another woman, because that woman know that they have a goal and they were already building something and working towards it, and it reached a certain place, she's not going anywhere. She's still focused on that goal along with the man, even though the man gets sidetracked, she'll just have to, hey, pull up herself, right? It have women here what we're not going to be distracted, and then it have vice versa. A woman,
Yes.
as I say, might be distracted by a man, but that man knows it doesn't sometimes. Okay, so Lion was talking about biology, and then we're talking serious business. After the biology done fade out, right? You reach a stage you're already feeling all the heat that was there biologically gone. What is really going to keep you together? You understand? So circumstances might happen. The man or the woman get in an accident. That side of the function, the sexual functioning, might be up to mark at that point in time. What you're going to do? But the goal that you all had set could still happen. Would you leave? No, you will stay and make sure that you meet that goal. Because you still have
I don't
something
know.
to fight for. If it is you really set like a
She
serious goal
can.
and you know
She
you have
can.
something to work for,
Really,
you're
what she
going
said,
strong.
she can, you know.
I'm
Here's the
Uh-huh.
fine.
interesting part. Here's the interesting part, right? We know what goal it is. So that's why I asked the first
That is
question.
why you need to know what. That is what
That
I
is
was
why
saying
the
earlier
first
on.
question
You
was,
ask five, what is it next 5? You're going in
one
5. Where you
thing.
see
The
yourself in
first
5 years?
question, listen, my first question could be the last question. Because if you can't answer the first question, there are no more questions. Because it don't matter how we cut this cookie, life is risky. Abby, you see what Abby pointed out the risks. Abby like she doing a risk assessment. Abby risk assessment
That's what
everything.
I'm studying right now.
Exactly. So when I listen to Abby, I know she just did a risk assessment. So here's what life is risky. And the interesting thing about life is the only way you're getting out of life is death. That is how risky life is. Right? That is why it is imperative when you're deciding to go down that road, you know who you're going down that road with. You understand what I'm saying? It's easy to dream up a nice goal, but what is the goal? If you don't know what you're doing for the next 5 years, if you don't know where you see yourself for only 5 years, you can't partner with nobody. You can be how sweet, you can be how pretty, you could be how whatever good in your heart and your mind. The foundation is the goal. You understand what I'm saying, Abby? Abby is pursuing a certain job or a certain career. You understand what I mean? You had to pair with somebody who would add to that or join with you, because after the euphoria, right? After we hug up 10 million times and we roll in the bed 52 times and all kind of thing, and that sort of taper there. What is the goal? If you do not know where you see yourself in 5 years, you can't put yourself to nobody. Your mama guide yourself as a distance. Because if you don't know where you're going, you can't go nowhere with nobody.
I like that. And I don't think I want to go with anyone.
Exactly. That makes sense. That makes
I'll
sense.
go by
That is
myself.
perfect
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Until you really have person or persons in your life that helping propel you in the dream together, then what you're doing is correct. What
Mm-hmm.
you're doing is correct. But don't do it on
Journey
the
alone.
basis. Don't do it on the basis that you don't have such persons out there, or you're worried and you're fearful. Is that we tend to pause and wait that to get
Yeah.
into something that you do not know. You're going based on emotion.
Right.
See what you're doing? You're doing risk assessment. Big up yourself, Jean. You know anything said? Let's see it on
Hi,
there.
Jane.
Hi,
Jean,
Jean.
put in the comment section what you're asking on the first date when coming to dealing with a lifetime partnership. Riri, what's the first question?
Oh, Gamoy.
Ah, yes. Riri, so what's the
Risk.
first question you're asking, Gil? What was the first question you asked the guy you're with right now? Because you're talking marriage. So what's the first question you had asked him? All right, so when we come back, we might get an answer. So, Abby, when it is you had this sit down with the gentleman, how many
Right.
years ago that was? What was the
Oh, that was
goal?
it didn't had any, to be honest. I mean, I did ask, but it was he answered me perfectly. Ah, not looking for nothing serious, Just go with the flow, and I wasn't feeling it. So
Right.
it ended right there quickly. So, and I just that's it. I just doing me
Okay.
now. So I have to take risk assessment because I don't want to be wasting any more years hoping that either he changed, or is he for me, or are we going to build something. I'm not going to be
So
thinking
yeah,
about that.
this time you know that you wouldn't be going with someone who say, here what we will go with the flow. It have
Yeah,
no answer like that. Here what we going with the flow. Because
no.
I mean the flow, when people going with the flow, people get separated
Yep.
going down the waterfall,
And
eh?
so, yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One will
Because
sink.
one flow will go so, one the other might go the next way. And they
Who
say
took
I find she
longer?
take too long to answer that question. I don't
Which
know
took
who take
longer?
long to answer which question. Maybe he's talking about Rihanna.
Oh,
Maybe he's speaking about Rihanna when we had asked if it is she see herself spending the rest of her life with the
oh,
guy.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
right.
Maybe it was internet connection. We don't know. Right. So
Yeah.
people, what
Your
question
boy.
are you asking?
Abby is your boy. Right. My second question. You
Uh-huh.
know, I have my thing down, right? Only understanding that you see, look, the way you answer the first question, right, you get the second question, right? So this is the
Right.
second question. Now, the second question is, how are you with money?
Right.
Do you pay your bills on time? Look, watch my face. You see my face, Abby? Do you pay
Uh-huh.
your bills on time? Do you pay a
Yeah,
credit card on time? No, 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 no. You see it? You see my
I
face?
see it. You're not
Do
joking.
you pay your bills
Seriously.
on time? Yes? Do
Mhm.
you have any outstanding loans for what?
I mean, isn't that too deep of a question to ask for the first couple dates?
If I serious, I know what time to waste.
Fair
You see,
enough. I
because
get that.
you see that is what look, you see, I giving you because then you would know how long you will last, you know. You know if you're lasting 2 months or 2 years or where you know how long you will last. Because if I know that this scenario here is a little while play, then nobody here getting hurt, everybody enjoy themselves and they go their way. You understand what I'm saying,
Right.
Andy? It
Yeah.
kind of clear up the thing quick now. You know what I mean? Like quick movements. We
Okay.
life short, so we have time with this. So
Right.
my second question would be reason why chicks. Because if you and I are going to be very serious, money is close to it. Because most of the fights going on be that, you know. You understand what I'm saying? Because if I accustomed being diligent and just pay my bills and just make sure my light bill, you understand what I mean, Abby? My cable pay, the thing pay on time, you know what I mean? And negligent. What's gonna happen to me? I'm going to be frustrated. I can love you how much I want to. You understand what I'm saying? If I accustomed paying my bills on time, I diligent, I putting aside this little thing in case this happen. I have my finances structured properly. And then I come with this person now who late for everything. Late for work, late to pay the bill, late for, you understand what I mean? Then that is an indicator that if we do anything long term, that is going to be a stress on me. Place in the comment section, people, what is going to be a stress on you?
So now they're saying that is a serious, this is, a serious question. Shows me how that person operates, what they take serious or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is true.
And Jean is saying, for me, choosing a lifetime partner, they respect my beliefs and values, they help me grow, and trusting each other. Yeah, and they must be able to trust. Trust is really important. They must be able to trust that person, whatever lifetime goals you set. Some persons, the lifetime maybe to get married, the lifetime might be to, have a business. And it mightn't be anything having to do with any pleasure or anything in that business scenario. So you have to, anyhow you take it, you must be able to trust the person. And he's saying, I think that is a very good question to ask for the first time.
Hey, listen, man. When we're serious, we're serious. You know what I mean? There's no when I'm a man, women tend to kind of, I'm straight to the point. We are straight to the point. And if we're not getting straight to the point, something wrong. You understand what I'm saying, Abby? You feel me? You feel me? Even if straight to the point means it's going to be a physical scenario, like if it's just a flick, you know what I mean? You really want to get straight to the point, so we wouldn't be wasting anybody's time. You might want something that I don't want, and then like we just move on from that. But when it comes to longevity in any kind of, it could be business, it could be work, but in reality, when you're in that life partner scenario, think about it. Time to pay the rent. You know, you see, we still talking this marriage talk, we still in the euphoria. You see, women going back. That's a good yeah, you understand? It's a good, that's your life. Life is bills.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying, Abby? Life is bills and commitments. Right? So after the ham, lamb, and jam, right? Time to pay the rent now. Abby a custom cutting she salary, how she does cut it. Well, use the man. So all you have to, we have to have our finances in order. Because time to pay the rent now, Abby do? Abby don't cut and paste. Because she meticulous. And gentleman now, he went by the bar. Or he went wherever. And when he's supposed to come up with his portion, right? It's a bit, Abby, understand why I say it's a business? Because when it's time for him to come up with his portion now, and he's not as disciplined as you with your finances, you going to feel the pressure. One person is going to outspend the other.
Yeah.
Chica, I used to do that. I used to do this, I can tell you, I can put you to sit down, and I can put you on the man to sit down, and when all you're done, all you do, it makes sense. Because we only basing this thing on this fairy tale kind of scenario, white picket fence scenario. It is not that. It's not that. So that was my second question. So you see how rough it is already, yeah?
It's rough. At least so early in it. It is rough.
Abby, why? Why? Because we don't want to waste time.
I get that. Yeah.
And the thing is, it is okay if you're on a flick, at least I know, right? I hate anybody if you say, boy, I'm not so serious now. That's good. Yeah, that's good. That's fine. That means I don't need to know.
Invest and invest in all kind of feelings and invest in all kind of things.
We could just flex and we move on, right? Because we on the same page. Women just want a man to be open. Yeah? But if I ask a young lady, think about this, Abby. Third date. Abby, you have a good credit score? How much you owing on your credit card? See how the place get quiet? Yeah.
Why you want to mind my business?
Exactly. Exactly. Because then remember, you would ask me the same thing, Remember, if I come in, if I asking you about your, I can talk about mine. I can tell I straight him. I can tell you where it is going on. Because then you are allowed to ask me because I'm asking you, not so.
So it is
And
open discussion. It's not a one.
if you go on the defensive, I pull it back one time. I will talk nice for the rest of the night and we go laugh and giggle and take a sip and think. After that, I done because you're going on the
Yeah.
defensive. Why are you defensive with your finances? Because it has something that you don't want me to
Well,
see or know that will make you look a certain way. There's a serious, they all can carry this on the ladies night too, and all the bacchanal thing. But what I'm saying, right, is that it is that real. Because if I ask you, you can ask me. I just pay my bills on time. Yeah, ask me like a watchman. No. You just know people who discipline, watch their body, watch their lifestyle. You just know discipline don't just be in finance. You know. You discipline just be straight across the life. What time is reach to work? Look, Chica can tell you. Anybody who know me working, any employer I have worked with, any employer, I open your business space. So discipline is something that transcends not just. So that is my point. If you're ill disciplined with work, so I will ask you, what time is reach to work? If you reach the work late every day, you think you're going to have a proper structure for finance? Chica, talk to me. What talking here? Let me know. Let me the comment section how we talking. If we talking truth, if we talking facts on the place in the comment section, how are you feeling and you liking this one?
Yes. Timing.
No, it is. It is. We see, remember, ladies just want to say they want a serious man, but they don't want a serious man. Not all of them. Because if I come at you serious, you will get offended.
Right.
Because then you wouldn't say, no, this is a serious woman. You don't want to be perfect. Here's a serious woman is. I'm really behind on these credit cards. That better than unsigned man telling me.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? You know
and
why?
you will know, and it must have, and she will know, say, okay, this is, because things happen in life. Life happens. So as I be talking about the distractions or life itself happening.
Man, if you're not coming out and saying, I have a problem with spending. I know most of the ladies that be around me like to spend money. I never say it's a bad thing, But if you come out and say, I find joy in blessing people, or I find joy in spending, maybe I do overspend. This is what I just do. What you think? That is a partner. You dig? You see, it had nothing to do. She gonna make mistake, he gonna make mistake. But you see, then if I could come out and tell you, this is my weakness. You see, because you need the yin to your yang. You understand what I mean? You need is wherever you weak in, the partner supposed to be strong in. I'm preaching, boy. Only place in the comment section. You see, here no, what I'm saying, you see, people think I just bashing women. It's not that. It's that when you realize your weakness, then they can say, Lion, real overly disciplined. I need some discipline. Let me listen to what he had to say. Right? I like to listen to audiobooks. I'm not going to go through. If I have a book to read, I look for the audio version because I retain more when I hear as opposed to reading from the page. Somebody else might rather read from the page and they retain more from the page as opposed to hearing. So you need the yin to your yang. But you know what we just go into the relationship doing? Pretending we perfect. And we have no flaws. Let me know what's going on. Let me know that comment.
So now this I might be late for work, church, or a fete once in a while. But paying Caesar's due, I don't play with my bags, not my dollars.
That is true. Give unto Caesar what is Caesar. I've never been late with my bills, not short. No, like Lion said, I have to dissect it into pieces and give Caesar his due. That is exactly what I do. What remains is for me. That's it. I have no loans, no debts. That's how I operate.
Everything straight.
Everything straight. And I don't want no one to come and mess it up. That ain't happening.
Right. Yes, people, so we hear from Pastor Lion.
Wait tell it yourself. No, because you see, when we have been around for a long time, you see experiences that thing. You see when you experience different things, you get to the understand. Hey, people might say I attract, boy, I just attract some crazy people. Or, I just attract the weirdos. I just attract. It's not that no.
I do.
Is that?
I
It's not that.
do.
It's
Why is
because
it?
you never did a risk assessment.
Yeah,
That is it.
sure.
What we're doing is risk, we're managing the risk. Now, if the person is willing to change, willing to, you know what I mean? You don't have willing people. If I can
Yeah.
acknowledge, boy, I tell you, I just acknowledge it more. I say, boy, I have a short temper. I just sometimes I will not speak to you so that I won't say something wrong. Because over time I realize when I'm angry, I might say something I don't mean. Most of us does do that, but most of us don't admit it.
Mm-hmm.
And in relationships, all of us just do it, But I just do it a little more. Right? So I say, hey, oh, good. I'm going to stay quiet. I'm going to block the person who I'm angry with. Now, it might look like if, I do it, you know what I mean? Because I want to clear myself, calm down myself, and then we can have the same conversation over with me calm, as opposed to having the disagreement while I might blood hot. And you see, that is, we do not want to be vulnerable. I mean, look, women don't like to be vulnerable in front of a man, And a man don't want to be vulnerable in front of a woman. For a man to say, you're right now, I'm broken. You're feeling less of a man, a kind
No,
of
but
way.
have some of them to say that, Lion, and they're not
No, well, you
ashamed
be
to
the
say it.
honest. Well, the honest. But man, Chini man, boy, I feel when we go in, like, tackling a woman or trying to get attention, we just always want to look like, we can handle we say.
Everything straight. Yeah.
We don't go at a place where girl, I know lost my job thing. We don't go with honesty, really, And women, and I know this is a thing, women are foster now in honesty. Because time a man start the date like that, they might say, well, I'm paying for the I ain't paying for this. You want honesty? Because really and truly, men think that they always need to be that particular way.
Yeah.
So that would be my second question. Look how far it on.
What's the third one?
I waited to hear what is all the questions, man. All you using out all mine. I give all the
I
two.
haven't even reached that far.
But
I
I
haven't.
already said what I had said. My first question would be
Well,
concerning the goals,
we begin
and
and
when not only where you see yourself in next 5 years, but what like serious long term goal you have. Like when it is I say, this is what I want. And it say, hey, Chica, what this? Right? And then it really have to map out how it is you're going to get to that goal. And that goal is like a really a long-term goal. And then sometimes when you see what the person goal is, you know how strong the bond or whatever. Because sometimes some people, the goal is just maybe, let's say some people, yeah, just want to lose the weight, they lose the weight, and then when they blink, they just pay back on. It could disappear. But then it have some goals, it could live on. It's not just you
yeah.
meet a goal, it come like you go in and get a degree, you get a degree, and then some
Yeah.
people just go and get another degree and the next one and the next one. Right?
Correct.
But where is it something that could really live on? Do you
I
have a
know.
goal that
The
could live
young
on?
woman. I believe you attract what you are. You know what I mean? It's just for you to find what facet of yourself you're attracting to yourself because the energy, the polarities, you will attract most of yourself. And I can't say the women for the past however long, was cheap. And because I am not like that. You know what I mean? They're
Very
just pay
true.
for things. You know what I mean? They just pay for things. They spend the money too. You know what I
Of
mean?
course.
If I was to say that the ladies I have come into contact with didn't like to spend the money well on me or that kind of way. But I really believe, boy, Andy boy, if you come in correct and the girl is a good
Yeah, they
girl,
say them ain't paid for nothing. Wait,
Well,
yeah,
Andy,
Andy,
one
darling,
thing.
you're the wrong girl.
eh,
I think
I mean,
that was
Andy,
my
yeah, yeah, wrong
downfall.
person.
yeah,
That
what
was
I'm saying,
my
if you come
downfall
in,
in the beginning. Paying
what's
for
that?
stuff. Yeah.
I know you don't they do a risk assessment because I can't say that most of the because if the guy is generous, it would be easy for you to be generous. Once it's a good deal, if it's a digger, well, You know the gold diggers, them coming at your pocket. That is how the system set. But if it's a good lady, we're talking about good ladies here. I ain't bashing women. We're talking about the good ladies. If it's a good lady and she's seeing you, there's be, you know, she will. She will. I have faith because I've come across ladies in my life and that was not issue in my case. Maybe other fellas had that, but I wouldn't say that. I would say that women tend to look for a stable financial gentleman as opposed to putting themselves with a male who is not stable financially. Any comment section?
So Sonali saying because that's what they were taught, Lion. Granddad or uncle would say, hey boy, you see that girl you're going around? Make sure and have her. Yeah. They want to make because I mean,
No, the old school came up and taking care of your
yeah,
wife. And they said,
yeah.
all right, as we discussed
And
today,
now things
you
changing.
don't need if you want a traditional man, then you need to be a traditional woman.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be straight, right? We can't just be cutting sides. We can't just be saying,
Yeah.
man, this woman, I don't like that. I'm saying if you as a female, you want a traditional man, then you need to be a traditional woman. You can't be this kind of woman we have now when you want traditional man all of a sudden, right? You have
Mm-hmm.
to give what you want in the
Yes.
universe. You can't
Oh,
want peace in your life if you're not giving out peace. You can't want money if you're not generous. You can't want love if you ain't giving none, right? So you can't stop there being this, the sham, the whatever, and I want a traditional man who just come and hand over. Really? You want a man to come and hand over
I
the paycheck?
yeah.
Yeah? But you're not a traditional woman. If
I
I ask you
had
if
a
No.
your body count,
When it
conversation
get
with
our money, when the man, the traditional man, honey, the money we're gonna do hair, nails, we're gonna buy more
I'm
clothes, more
saying,
shoes.
Jessica,
Yeah, him paying
exactly.
bill
traditional
and
man,
buying
you want
grocery.
to know what a traditional man when an ask your body count before he start handing the paycheck.
Huh?
A traditional man is going to ask you your body count before he start handing that paycheck because that's what he
Hmm.
reverence. Here when I hand a woman a paycheck with Tom, Dick, and Harry could say I was there. You see, that's my point right there. If you want a traditional man, you need to be a traditional woman. Otherwise, chill and do what I tell you and ask your questions because because we time changing, so we need to assess both of our risks going into the partnership. And if we look at life like people around us like that, we'll have less friends. We might have more quality friends, whoever they are. And even though you might have a relationship that might last 2 years, 3 years, it will be more quality than what you
In
had
that
before.
space of time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
yeah,
had a
so we have one here.
conversation. I had a conversation with a traditional guy. And
Serious?
what I noticed
It
gathering
is Sunday
information
name,
about my
it's say name. And it have traditional.
no, no, because
Seriously.
he might be watching.
Actually, the traditional? Yeah, they're lucky, yeah, they're lucky.
Yeah. No, just conversation. Nothing is,
Mm-hmm.
And
Abby,
what
let's
I
come over here.
gathered,
Chica,
no.
she give
After
it
being alone for so long and, creating bad habits
right.
that a traditional man may not, you know,
He
You
wouldn't
tolerate.
be
want a traditional
attracted
man?
to
You
and
want a
tolerate.
traditional man,
Yes.
Abby? You want a
Sorry?
traditional man?
I don't think so. But
I think
I,
ladies
I
kind of
don't think it's true.
your new generation wouldn't really do well with that. I'm just saying the
But then
way
again, I'm kind of, in between. I only morph because society is morphing, but I still have
well,
that ways
what
of
I'm saying
how
is that
traditional is.
the
Kind of.
topic is selection. The topic is
Yeah.
selecting. We selecting partners for life. It could be friendships too, because you have to assess
Yeah.
the risks. Right? It is risky if the gentleman is all well and nice and we move in and tidy knot, and then he's bad with money. He's going to drive you up a wall because you are meticulous with money. And if he's not willing to meet you half-half, or say, well, girl, you better at managing this than me. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or the other way around, it could be the man is a genius, the man the stretch a dollar, he know how to, it could be anyone in the past. You know what I mean? I say, girl, here what going on? Hold this money for me and put it aside. That is
Yeah.
why I mean, Abby. You see, that's how things does last. We so accustomed with mine. It's mine, right? I work for it. One man say one man work, one man spend. Or she work for it. And women like to say that phrase, my money is my money, your money is my money. You know what I mean? So
Ah,
right? So at the end of the day, we're not partnering up and saying, all right, what bills we have? You see, when you're a team, you see teamwork, team sport, it's different.
Yeah.
totally
What bills
different.
we have today? It's not I pay. You know, someone saying, Abby, what bills we have?
Men don't say that though, do they?
Because you did not do, you see, I give it. Yeah. Because if it
It
is,
seemed
if,
like it seemed
this is
like we
the
might need
playbook
to
for you.
continue
Yeah,
this
yeah,
Yeah.
topic
yeah. This
at
is the
a
It's a
playbook.
very
we
good
will need to
topic. Yeah.
We will
continue.
have a part
Yeah.
two to this because this is the
Yes.
playbook.
Yeah.
This is the playbook, Abby. The playbook is regardless of if it's a physical or wherever it is, right? You will be able to do what you're supposed to do. So we're gonna come back next week because
Part two.
there's a
Yes.
long one. Jay.
Yes, so you'll look out for ladies' night tomorrow at 7 p.m. TT time, 11 p.m. UK.
Very good.
Yeah.